Have you ever considered buying yourself a set of locking tuners? Have you ever considered DiMarzio, Hipshots, Spurzle, or the one we're discussing today, the Tone Ninja?
Hey guys, welcome back to Alaska Guamas, and today we're going to do something that's different than anything else that we've done. And as you've seen, summer's over. We're now in late October, and we don't do as much outside. But and you guys have never seen my guitars, and I've got a collection of, I think I've got 9 guitars and a bass, or something like that. But one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to change out the tuning heads on this, and we're going to replace them with locking tuners. Now there's multiple brands out there that exist. There are Hipshots, which I do have a set of Hipshot that I'm going to put on a different guitar, and I'll probably have a video up about that as well so you can see that. And then I'll talk about the differences between them because I've never really used locking tuners myself. But on this one, we're going with Tone Ninja. And Tone Ninja is something that is it's a Chinese brand apparently, and they've got the coolest logo, right? But it's a Chinese brand, but everything that I've seen about them, they're actually high quality. But what's interesting is I don't know what it is, but I tend to buy stuff that doesn't have reviews on the internet. And so I figure I might be all over the place with these kind of reviews and the demonstration of these products, but there's really not that many people out there talking about these things. So when we open these tuners, I'll show you what they are. You get a cool little sticker, I guess. Kids will like it. It comes packaged with this foam, and inside here are your tuning heads. And these are a 19:1 gear ratio. And what's really cool is that these things feel solid. You see there's no wiggle in them. There's no sound. These are really solid tuners. And everything I've read about them, they're really highly recommended. But again, there's just not very many videos out there. I've seen 2 videos that talk about Tone Ninjas, maybe 3, and only 1 are the locking tuners. So today we're gonna install these on my Jackson. We're going to look at what it's going to take to swap out these tuning heads. And so again, the Tone Ninjas, this is the packaging. Pull these guys out of the box. It's actually a cool little box. I like it. It's as far as packaging goes, far superior to the packaging of the Hipshot tuners that I'm going to put on a blue guitar of mine, a Jackson. It looks like I need a 10mm socket. Look at that. Loosen, not tighten. Give all of these a little twist. What we have to do now is we have to turn this around, and there's little tiny baby screws in the back that we're going to have to take out. So let us do that right now. The reason I'm going to put these on is just for the ease of restringing. All you have to do is put your string in, clamp it down, twist slightly, and it's in tune. It's not like these where you have to get 3 or 4 winds, preferably 3. You don't really want more than that, because what happens, and the reason that we're changing these out, is because the more winds you get, the more, if you bend a note, right, then it's pulling and it's releasing and it's constantly moving on that peg. And so therefore, you have tuning instability. It will pop out of tune a lot easier because of the way it's stretching, pulling, and moving. Whereas with a locking tuner, there is no movement because it's just in place and it's barely, you don't have to turn it very far to get it in tune. Can I put this in and have it go the whole lineup. And sure enough, it looks like it does. Oh, it does. Look at that. So this is going to be a quick, easy swap. It's very fast. But I do like these, I like the way these Tone Ninjas feel. I like the way they look. I think their little logo is kind of cool. I know it's a silly reason to buy a tuner. And I wouldn't buy it if for only that. But I am impressed with the way they feel in my hands. I'm impressed with the way they look. They are a 19-to-1 gear ratio. Most tuners are 18-to-1. And you can get some cheap tuners today. I've noticed on Amazon that there are cheap tuners out there that say 21-to-1. And I did order a pair for an acoustic that I have just to try them out because there is no shipping on Amazon. But I got them for $35. And so I figure for $35, I can experiment. I can see, if they work. And if not, I'll buy something else. It's not a big deal. And I tell you what, man, these are looking great. Look at this. So you see them on, but look at the back. Look at that. Look at that. I hope that's focusing. So I can tell you already, I'm really, really happy that these are just a straight swap. No fuss, no mess. I did hear some people complain about the fact that they had to, I saw pictures on Amazon or whatever. It's like, oh, the screws, this is why you shouldn't buy this stuff. And like, if you're shearing off a screw, you're probably doing something wrong. So now I'm going to do something a little bit scary. And I'm going to tighten these. Not too much. You don't want to kill it. You just want it to stay there nice and snug. Beautiful. Looks good. Feels good. Tastes great. It's less filling as well. You know what's funny? I'm sitting here making this video. My wife is downstairs. She thinks I'm up here studying for an exam I'm supposed to take. And I'm really supposed to be studying. But I also wanted to do somewhat of a review on these tuners. This isn't much of a review. This is more an unboxing and installation. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing on the left side. I think you could. Let's see. Does it move? Does it move? My goodness. Not only does it move, it does it very well. So there we go, people. We are in, we are locked, and we are loaded. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. Never had locking tuners. It's kind of weird to see how thick those are behind the headstock there. But, golly, that is pretty sweet. On the back of the headstock, let's see if you can see that. On the back of the headstock, you can see that those tuners are really tight right here. And so getting your fingers in there, thankfully I have kind of small fingers. Big old belly, tiny fingers. Here's where we're going to put that. So they say line up your hole straight with the string. And you're going to apparently kind of pull it tight, clamp off. Anyway, it's that simple. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to intonate this thing. I'm going to fix the intonation so that when I hit this and when I hit this, that it is 100% the same note. Okay, so we got her all stringed up, and now I went through and I did all the intonation. So now this note and that note are exactly an octave apart, but it's the same note. So here we go. This is the final product, I guess. We've got the locking tuners on the back, as I showed. We've got a nice cleaned up guitar with a nice, beautiful looking fretboard. Restrung, intonation is correct. Let's talk about these. These Tone Ninjas, so far, the way that they're functioning, the ease of use, the ease of replacement. If you've got a Jackson, you've got, I don't know if maybe Ibanez uses the same ones where I don't know if you can see it, sometimes the screw is straight down off of this. This is off to the side. If you've got this shaped tuning key, these Tone Ninjas fit right in, slide in, use the same holes, not a problem. Everything's good. Very simple to use, very comfortable. They look identical. They feel great. So in summation, Tone Ninja, do I recommend it? I recommend them. Now, granted, I just put them on. I haven't used them for a length of time, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video actually, so that you can get my true opinion or my honest opinion then. So far, what I'm seeing, I like. They seem to be pretty great. Last thing I have to do is I have to plug it into a little amp, adjust the height of the pickup so that the volume between this pickup and this pickup is identical, and then that the volume is the same right to left as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one.
6 months later, I've been using these guitars quite a bit. I don't have any stabilization or, tuning stability issues. I would highly recommend these. They're very high quality. They feel good. There's a stiffness, yet it's loose enough. Like some of my, on this green Jackson over here that I have my Alaska Aces hat hanging from, those tuners, they actually they'll be loose, not loose, but they'll smooth, and then it's tight, and then you got to get past that tight point, and they're crap. But these Tone Ninjas have been great. And I don't know if you recall, I told you that I had bought some locking tuners that were $35. Well, I don't know if that was in the video, but I ended up buying some other locking tuners that were cheap off Amazon. And I will tell you, don't buy them. I think they're called Guyker, Guyker, I believe. They're garbage. Every time, it would constantly break two strings. You'd clamp it down, tighten, pop, and they're just too sharp, and so they would break your string. And I will never buy those. Tone Ninjas I will buy, but I also, as I mentioned, I have Hipshots in this guitar, and they're fantastic. I mean, you can never go wrong with Hipshot. And then in another guitar down here that I have, I got to take this spare neck off. I ended up getting the D'Addario ones that auto clip the strings. And those are great, except when you're using 1052s like I typically do. They don't clip that 52 very well. So if you're going to be heavy, like slinky bottom, heavy top is... I use D'Addarios. I don't use Slinkies, but in that range, if you're going to use those, you're still going to have to clip your low E. But anyway, fantastic tuners. I couldn't recommend them high enough. Get them while they're still inexpensive, because they've even gone up since I last bought them. I think I bought them for $52, and I think I last saw they're like $63. So they're almost now at the same price as the Hipshots. But I will tell you that I do like them better than the Hipshots, in that the Hipshots, which are on this guitar, let me show you these on the back, because I don't think I included this in the video. But the Hipshot, they're nowhere near as thick. The knob you grab is considerably thinner. And, and the truth is, it's okay. It works. It functions perfectly well. But I personally like the thickness of the knobs on these Tone Ninjas. I think that it's fantastic. So again, this is actually on a different guitar, but I put the same toners on this guitar as well. So anyway, to wrap this video up, If you're thinking about locking tuners, you don't want to spend as much money on a set of Didarios or a set of hip shots or a set of Spurzels, you know, the Tone Ninjas, they're fantastic. They're really, really nice. And I would recommend them to anyone. So get yourself a pair and get yourself a pair or grow yourself a pair. Get yourself a pair of Tone Ninjas. Bye.